Hi everyone, my name is Pisonia, and in this video, I will explain a phenomenon related to climate change. I will focus on the decline of Arctic sea ice and how it affects the survival of polar bears. So here's it. Hope you guys enjoy the video.
All over the Arctic. The Hudson Bay population is one of the most southerly, and temperatures are rising very quickly there, and the sea ice, and that has driven down the population of polar bears. How numbers are changing in terms of like the whole species and the whole of the Arctic, that's much more difficult to say. All of the data.
This week, scientists reported sea ice levels in the area were at a record low for this time of year.
The Arctic is one of the most climate-sensitive regions on Earth. Over the past several decades, Arctic Sea has been steadily declining due to rising global temperatures. This change is not only affecting the Arctic environment itself, but also influencing the global climate system and the survival wildlife that depends on sea ice, especially polar bears. Unlike land ice, Arctic sea ice forms frozen seawater during the winter and melts again in the summer. Although it may seem temporary, the seasonal ice plays a crucial role in regulating Earth's temperature. It also provides an essential habitat for many marine and top predators. The decline of Arctic sea ice is primarily driven by increasing air and ocean temperature caused by climate change. Scientific observations show that the Arctic sea ice has been shrinking by approximately 13% per decade. In addition, older and thicker ice is disappearing, leaving behind ice that is thinner and more fragile. Sea ice reflects a large amount of sunlight back into space. However, when the ice melts and replaced by the dark ocean water, more solar energy is absorbed by the sea. This absorbed heat is then released into the atmosphere, accelerating warming and causing even more ice to melt. This creates a reinforced cycle. The more ice that melts, the more heat is absorbed. The more heat is absorbed, the faster and the remaining ice disappears. As a result, the Arctic is warming much faster than many other regions in the world. The loss of Arctic sea ice does not only affect the polar regions. Sea ice helps regulate temperature difference between the Arctic and lower latitudes. When the sea ice declined, this temperature difference weakened and may alter atmospheric circulation pattern. Such change can influence weather conditions far beyond the Arctic, contributing to unstable climate patterns and extreme weather events in other parts of the world. For this reason, Arctic sea ice loss is considered a global issue, not just a regional one. Among the species most directly affected by decline of sea ice are polar bears. Polar bears rely almost entirely on sea ice as a platform to hunt their primary prey, seals. Under normal conditions, polar bear hunts intensively during winter and early spring. During this time, they build fat reserves that are essential for survival throughout the year, especially during periods when food becomes scarcer. However, as sea ice melts earlier and forms later, the hunting seasons become slightly shorter. This means polar bears have fewer opportunities to catch enough prey and store sufficient energy. As a result, polar bears experience weight loss and declining physical condition. This directly affects their ability to survive and reproduce. Female polar bears with limited energy reserve are less likely to successfully reproduce. Even when calves are born, the chance of their survival is lower. In addition, many polar bears are increasingly forced onto land as sea ice disappears. On land, food are limited and cannot meet the natural needs of polar bears. The situation increases the risk of starvation and raises the likelihood of interaction between polar bear and human. Several polar bear subpopulations living in the southern Arctic, such as those in the Hudson Bay, are considered especially vulnerable. Between the year 2030 and 2050, the subpopulation are projected to disappear if current trends in sea ice loss continue. In conclusion, the decline of Arctic sea ice is a complex phenomenon that involving climate change, global climate system, and wildlife survival. The loss of sea ice is not only transferred the Arctic environment, but also threatens the long-term survival of polar bears that depends on this habitat. This phenomenon highlights this close connection between the climate change, habitat loss, and the future of Arctic ecosystem.
So in the Hudson Bay, so I mentioned that there are populations all over the Arctic. The Hudson Bay population is one of the most southerly, and temperatures are rising very quickly there, and the sea ice on that bay is the length of time during that summer period where the bay has thawed out and is ice-free is getting longer, and that has driven down the population of polar bears.